Did you know that Bangladesh's Prime Minister is a woman? And she has the longest term length, 16 years, 12 months, and still counting? Hello and welcome everyone to my speech today. I'm Sue and I'll give you a brief presentation about the differences between male and female roles in three areas. Political representations, educational opportunities, and family income and pensions in Bangladesh. There will be three main parts divided in my talk, which can be further described in the three areas that I have mentioned above. First, I will inform you about how men and women participating in the political areas. Then we will continue to the educational prospect. And finally, we will look through the earning and superannuations. As you already know, political issues have always been a heated debate in many nations, and one of which is women nowadays are participating more in this field. The first Bangladesh Parliament in 1973 only had 15 reserved seats for women, and the number was later raised to 50 in the recent years. In spite of men are still dominant in most of the areas, the percentage for women in national parliament seats is second 20.63% in 2019, comparing to only 9.1% in 2000. This is a positive change for women in Bangladesh, especially in engaging more in society. Okay, now let's move on to the educational prospect. According to United Nations Development Programme in 2018, the expected years of learning for women in Bangladesh is 11.6 years compared to male is only 10.8 years. This can be assumed that first, women are participating more and longer in school, having higher educations. And second is men are easier than women in find job. So in order to compete for the job, women have to study longer and higher. Moreover, Bangladesh Bureau of Statistics also claims that the percentage for women know how to read and write is approximately 57%, which is still lower than men, is nearly 62% in both rural and urban areas. The Bangladeshi government also published a figure about educational rate by age in 2014, and women seem to have higher educational rate than men for the age of 7 to 19. Approximately 81% of girls go to school, comparing to only 72% of boys. However, the percentage starts to change at the age of 20 to 60. The educational rate for women is getting lower when they are getting older. And this indicates that men are likely to engage in more in learning than women because the higher educations, the better opportunities they have to promote their careers. And besides, men are expected to have more time for studying after they got married because their wives tend to stay home and do their family and house chores. More than 20% of men have higher educations after the age of 40s. And finally, we will discuss about the earning and superannuation of the two genders. The first point that I want to make is about the income gap between genders in Bangladesh. Although they are doing the same job in the same industry, the monthly income for women is still lower than men. For instance, the average income for women in professional is nearly 25,000 taka, which is Bangladeshi currency, and for men is 27,000 taka, which is a gap of 2,000 taka. And in other occupations, the gap can be up to 3 to 4,000 taka. Okay, now we will continue to the second point of the pensions. According to the reports of health aid organizations, the figure about employment rate from age 15 and over between male and female have shown that women are less likely to have income from work in the working age from age 20 to 60 only 20 to 40% of women go to work comparing to 100% of men. The majority of ladies have a job at the age of 20 to 30s. And after that, the percentage steadily declines. This might infer that women tend to quit the job and stay home to focusing on raising family. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, let's take a look at this coverage of elderly pension pie chart. As you can see, more than 70% of older people over the age of 60 have no pensions. And I assume that they are mostly female because I always know the employee pension payment are determined by the two factors. First, the length of the employee working years, and second is the contribution to the pension fund from the annual income of work. And women have less salary and less working hour than men. So in result, they have less supporting from the government in retirement. This is an issue for Bangladeshi women because they depend on their husband or their children income, and two-thirds of the Bangladeshi female are widow comparing to only 8% of men. So they can't depend on their husband income anymore. So this is a big problem for women in Bangladesh. And this brings me to the end of my presentations. We have discussed the contrast between men and women to three specific areas: political, education, and income and pensions. As you can see, Bangladesh is still a developing country, so they have much more to work on. However, they have significant improved in closing the gender gap in some areas, especially in politics. And I have watched a women rights in Bangladesh interview from the internet, and I saw that most of the girls are afraid to go to school because of the raping problems, the acid attacking, and so that this can lead to the decreasing number of female going to school, going to work because of these problems. And I suggest that, and from my opinion, I suggest that your government raise more awareness and more focus on the encouraging women to engage more in the societies. And I also want to inform the government to tighten the law because the assets price in the markets are too cheap. So therefore, anyone can go to the market and buy the dangerous chemical to hurt someone, especially women in Bangladesh, just for 10 cents. And I hope that from my talk today, you can understand about how men and women are engaging in the societies and have more information about Bangladesh. Thank you for listening.